Everything's nice and smooth. Well done. Looking cool. Again, it's going to be hard with an angled texture like this, but you can sometimes use these reference images as texture maps for your model as well, if you don't want to paint them all up individually by hand. And if you get a good enough, high enough resolution image you can use. Nostromo is a commercial towing vehicle, but discovered today in the back there was a howitzer. Oh, really? I didn't know that. The Nostromo, I thought that was a mining ship, like it was a hauler. If it's from Alien, the original Alien movie. I thought it was a mining sort of hauler storage vessel. I could be wrong. Like I said, it's been quite a while since I've seen Alien. It's looking good though, looking cool. Well done. And they are good movies, I have to admit. The Alien series has all been pretty good. And I even like the new one. A lot of people don't, but I thought it was pretty good. You know, the one that was done recently with Ridley Scott. Let's get rid of these white streaks, I think. Oh, okay. Well, that's news to me. Towing vehicle that's towing a refining station. Ah, I didn't know that. Well, there you go. What did you think of the new movie? The Ridley Scott one. What was it called? Prometheus. Did you like that? Did you see it? You finished watching the original Alien. Had you watched it before? And like I said, a lot of people I've spoken to didn't like the Prometheus movie, but I did. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I'm waiting for a sequel too. It's in the making at the moment, so it shouldn't be too far away now. I think they said end of 2017. It should be really cool. I hope they go to the alien's home planet. That's what I want to see. You know, where she leaves the planet at the end in the ship, in the alien ship with the android. She said she's not going back to Earth, but she's going to where they came from. That's what I'm waiting to see. I want to see what the aliens planet's like. It was a shame that Sigourney Weaver wasn't in it though, because I do like her as she played that part really well in the original Alien movies. Because Alien number 4 I thought was pretty. Was it 4? Where they're with Winona Ryder as the android. I thought that one was pretty good too. I'm just getting rid of these little white dots again that's popping up in the texture. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it 20 times, but I think I might have watched it probably about 5 times. The last time was about, I don't know, maybe about 3 months ago. Yeah, I guess they did. It was a lot of comic relief in the number 4. I think if it's number 4 that I'm thinking of. I thought the idea though of them trying to recreate her was interesting, because you know she dies at the end of number 3, I guess it would be the prison colony one. So I was curious when they made it how they were going to bring it back. The whole baby thing, though, I thought, you know, the alien baby with her and that baby, I thought that was a bit silly. I'm going to turn masking off in just a sec to blend these edges in, but I just want to finish the rest of the model before I do that. Well, the rest of these are edges. And again, I'm not scaling the model up at all. Again, though, I do want to rotate it so that the masking is taking effect. And I'm noticing I'm not really going to be able to do that here, because to get the masking to take effect on these edges, I've got to rotate the model up quite a lot, and I'm losing the bottom part of that texture. So what I'm going to do is mark that texture like that so I can see it in the UVs. Bake it down. I'm going to jump into the UV viewport and paint it there. I'm going to pick with a simpler antenna and it looked like a movie prop. An old model that was produced. Oh, cool. Simpler antenna. Cool. Yeah, like I said, though, if you can find a high enough, with the UVs here, you can scale it until you get about the same scale as the model in 3D viewport. But you should try and match the scale. Yeah, as I was saying, though, with the texture painting on those props, if you can get a high enough resolution and the right sort of angle, you can use that to texture up the model. It'll save a lot of work for you. You can't always do it, though, because you can't always find the source pictures or images for it. But if you can, yeah, you can save a heap of work. I'm just going to paint it in here in the UVs, because I can't get a proper angle on it to paint it in 3D. So, and that's the other thing I really like about using Mari, is I can jump into the UV viewport quickly and easily and then jump back to 3D painting. Because I've done that myself. I've created a couple of models where I've found some really high-res source material, images, pictures, and I use the pictures of the object to create the texture by painting it over or creating the model around the texture map. I did that with in my portfolio and on the creative market. There's I can't remember what I called it. Ornate gate, not ornate gate. One of the gates anyway. I did it that way. I had some really high resolution photographs, and we're talking like 4K. And I used those to model the actual object itself. It wasn't a gate; it was an entrance. But I turned it into a gate. But I used the texture map for the entrance to create the gate model. You think in some areas that they don't have much reference, so you're using a display. They just use displacement. Well, that's probably true. Because I don't know if they had a lot of shots really from the exterior of the ship, and if they were, they weren't there on screen for very long. I know there is that scene at the end though where she jumps into the smaller ship and takes off, so you see the underside of the ship there. I'm going to get rid of these dots that keep repeating as well. I don't like that. So I'm just going to paint those out. I may leave those three in, but I'm going to paint these. I might paint them all out actually, I think. On second thought, I don't want any of them in. Alright, let's jump back into our 3D viewport again. So we painted it up because we couldn't access the model correctly this way. And like I was saying, that's what I like about Mari, is I can jump back and forwards between the UVs and painting directly on the model. I'm not sure if Substance Painter does that or not, because like I said, it's been about a year since I've used that program. Let's get these top sections done. Again, I'm going to paint out the white streaks in just a minute because they wouldn't appear on the horizontal part of the geometry. So again, I'm not scaling the model, I'm just moving the texture. Because it's something that if you don't pay attention to, can ruin your texture. If you start scaling it and you shouldn't, you're going to notice it. Small areas you may not, but these larger areas you will. Let's get rid of the white mark there. And this bit here as well, I think. Bake that down with the Alt key. Let's do that top ledge up through there. I'm going to have to be a bit careful. Oh, we haven't painted there yet, so we should be okay. Again, I'm going to scale it so that the masking is taking effect. I'm going to rotate the texture still to follow the direction of the model, because it's important. You may not think it is, but it is. It will make a difference. Even though it's a small thing, it's still important to do, or to keep in mind that the texture follows the geometry of the model, the direction. Okay, we'll bake that down. I'm going to work on that top flat section here now. Again, I'm going to rotate it, and again we're going to have some problems because the model is going to start overlapping. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark that texture like that so I can see which one it is in the UV viewport. And we'll do it in the UVs again. And it will be this one just here. You can see that line I just drew, I just painted. I wonder if they even used very many 3D models for the Nostromo, or if it was actually a physical model, because I know that movie was made quite a while ago. I know that they used to use a lot of physical models and they used to film them, as opposed to doing it in 3D. And again, I'm going to overpaint any areas where I can see repetition happening. Like those dots again, the bane of my existence, these little dots. They did use it. When you say they used a model, are you saying they used a 3D model or a physical model that they created? Okay, we'll bake that down. Let's jump back into our 3D viewport. I want to get rid of that white dot there, I don't like it. And I'm just going to paint it out. Oh, so the prop shop in the UK restored it, cool. Physical model, that's what I thought. Because because 3D wasn't as, I don't know, it wasn't as popular or big back then as it was now, and it was very expensive. So I know that a lot of the times they created physical models as opposed to creating digital 3D models in software. Interesting enough, pardon me, in architectural visualization, they still do that a lot too. All of their work is done in 3D software, don't get me wrong, renders and all of that type of thing. Even the model itself is done in CAD. But they still will create a physical model sometimes to show a client. Right, cool. Let's do these bottom edges here now, I think. Pick that down. Let me jump around to the other side. I'm sure they were, because I think not Ridley Scott, what's his name? The guy that created the Alien, what's his name again? Geiger. I'm sure that they would have documented a lot. I know he always used to document heaps of his work when he was creating it. And it was the design of that alien, and even the alien ship at the very beginning, where they find those eggs. It was a brilliant design, really well done, really interesting. H.R. Geiger, yeah. Certainly the most unique looking artwork I've ever seen, his work. Okay, I'm just checking. Okay, we're going to do the top section here. Let's do that now. I'm going to do this top piece just here. So again, I'm angling the model so that the masking is taking effect. And again, rotating the texture so it matches the model and not scaling anything. I can overpaint the top here. I'm going to go over it again. Yeah, it is creepy and fascinating, I agree. Really unique. It's, you know, rare that you come across somebody that can create such a unique artwork. Never before seen. No one had ever done anything like it really before. It's what he made his name with. So there's plenty of that type of art around now, but he was the first. So, and yeah, definitely creepy. Really creepy. It's a shame though at the end of it that the alien looked like a guy in a costume. I mean, you know, I know it was made a long time ago. They didn't have a lot of choice, but it just seemed to ruin the movie a bit at the very end when you can see the guys in a costume and when she's in that small escape craft. Again, I'm going to get rid of these little dots that are appearing everywhere. I want to try and make it a little bit more generic here. I don't want to hit any of the white, really. Yeah, no, I don't want a bit of the white. Yeah, he was tall and skinny. Again, I can see some repetition happening here, so I want to remove some of these bits of the texture that are obviously repeating. hot cup of coffee. Always good. And my mic is not muted, which is good. Paint a couple of these white spots out as well, I think. The one here on the edge, I don't want that. These white marks here I want to get rid of as well. And these repeating dot pattern, I want to get rid of that too. So you can leave a couple of them in if you want. Like I may leave those two here in. I just got rid of the others. Now let's work on swing our model around and work on that back edge there. This is the last piece we're working on. This is that large section that runs around the back of the terrace. So then once we've done that, we can do some smoothing on the edges to make it look more natural. Okay. Again, I don't want any of the white texture showing up under here. Work that down. Let's work on that side here now. You'll notice I'm working with the bottom part of this texture here because it has none of this white streak, or the least amount of the white streaking in it. I couldn't really use the top part because I'd have to go over it again more often to take those white streaks out. Bake that down. And again, I like that chipped edge there, so I'm moving that towards the very edge of the model itself. You don't want to repeat it too much though. Okay, we'll bake that down. Let's just fix that edge just in there. Blend that together a bit. And let's just fix that edge down this end here. Okay. Let's do the underside here now. Again, rotating from the edges here will give you much more finer control than rotating it from the middle. Let's do these this small edge in here now. Just being a bit careful you don't overpaint too far in, because if you go past that red masking, you're going to start painting on the top part there. Okay. Let's rotate our texture around and do that edge over here now. Okay, we have the top edge on this side to do. Oh, don't scale your texture. Okay, I'm just checking around the model now to make sure I have hit all of the edges. It looks like there's just a spot just up in here that I haven't caught, so I'll do that now. Like that. I'll check that on the other side as well. Yeah, just here. I think we have all the major flat pieces done now, so let's turn masking off by going into our project tab and disabling it. Let's look at blending these corners together now. Now that we have our base texture done and we're just doing some blending, you can scale up a little. And let's do this corner here now as well. I may actually remove that white mark just there at 2, I think. Just by painting it out. That one blends, no, actually we'll blend that corner there as well in. We'll do the same thing here on this corner. This corner's not too bad. I may just put a small blend here on this corner here. Just here and there. You don't have to run it all the way along, just in spots. All right. And again, and just some corner pieces here and there I want to blend together a little bit better. So mainly where a dark texture meets a light texture like that, where you can really see the line. Again, I don't want to get any of the white though really in there. Maybe just through here. Anything that just stands out when you're looking at the model. Just blend together a bit better. I may have to paint that white out there. Maybe just through here as well. All right. You can sometimes hide those too when we start doing the overall dirt texture. That'll help to blend them together. So let's throw on a new layer. Save our project. And jump into our image manager again, and let's grab some interesting dirt textures we can use. Oh, this one should work okay. Let's work on this top section through here. And here you can scale the model in. And you can scale the texture as well. I'm going to turn masking back on though. Scale my texture up a bit. And again for this one, we're looking at the white part of the texture, not the black. So I'm not even painting all the way down to the bottom of the texture there. I'm only worrying about the white. Again though, making sure to paint directly onto the model and not on an angle. Like I said before, the advantage of painting in 3D like this is you can see what it's going to look like on the model itself, as opposed to just trying to do it blind in Photoshop and jumping back and forwards between 3D program and your paint program. And you can paint across texture seams as well. Okay, let's also use that texture down here along this edge here, I think. I'm going to scale it up a bit. And again, I'm always rotating the model around, so I'm not painting on an angle on the model itself. That way you won't get any stretching happening. Bake that down. Let's swing it around to the opposite side now. Let's throw that texture down along that bottom edge up there. Thank you, Raz, for the follow. I appreciate it every time you guys follow my Twitch channel. So thank you very much. Not sure if my notification popped up or not. I'll check that later. Yeah, but thank you for the follow. I'm going to scale that back. Remember too that you don't need to use 3D Paint program. A lot of the 3D software now has painting built into it, basic painting, which is quite fine for work like this. You could probably do. I know Max has it built in. Just going to pull in a bit. Has painting built into the software now. You just don't have as many options as you have with dedicated 3D Paint program. Like Mudbox, for instance, you can paint on geometry in Mudbox. That does a pretty good job.